Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today I'm going to be focusing on the driver information center and the steering wheel of the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, so what I'm going to do is go through all of the controls, settings, everything that has to do with anything the driver would see. So the steering wheel, driver display, all the buttons here on the side and down below. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and flip the camera around, and then I'm going to start from the left and work all the way to the right. Take note, we are not going to talk about the infotainment today. We may pop over there a few times just to show a couple settings you can do and send them over to the driver information center, but that's about it. So let's go ahead, flip the camera around and take a look at the driver information center. Here we are from the perspective of the driver in the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV. So like I said, we're going to start from the left and work our way to the right. So first down here, we have our window controls. They just work like standard window controls. Click the one you want, set it to how you'd like, and do it the same for the other. We have an automatic driver window, and then we have switches for each of the 4 windows in the car. Moving up here, we have unlock, lock, and then we have our driver memory settings. If you have a trim of this car that doesn't have driver memory settings, you can skip this part. If not, I'll go over it really quick. So I'm in driver position 1, I would click that. I'd set it to the way I want. I would click set, and then I press the button and it is set. If I was driver 2, same thing, but I would set it to how I want it with the adjustments which are down here. And then I would press set, press button 2, and it will set it for me. The last button down here is to set an exit position. So maybe you want to have a little bit more space to get out of the car. Then you would maybe scoot the seat back, raise it up a little bit, drop it down depending on what you need. You press set and hold that, and you would set it. It is worth noting that each of the positions can be set to a key fob. So currently I have key fob 1 and driver position 1 is set to that key fob. So in the settings menu, you can set up and have it where the key fob will automatically go to your settings when you get in the car, and same with driver position 2. Additionally, you can also set it up where when you leave the car, it will move to the exit position when you leave, which is a really cool feature. Down here, we just have the automatic park brake, or park brake, I guess if you push it's not automatic. Lane keep assist to turn on and off. Auto hold. I will say I've pushed this button, the light doesn't come on, but auto hold always comes on, so I'm not sure what's up with that. And then this is to open the rear tailgate, and then this is to adjust the brightness of the display. Down here, if you need to, you can open up the hood of the car. You have to pull it once and then twice to fully disengage it. And for those who want to know, the OBD port is right there. However, none of the apps that have the OBD work currently with the vehicle. Now, let's move to the steering wheel. Here we have the Super Cruise bar. So it'll be green, blue, or red, depending on different settings. If you have a car that's equipped with Super Cruise, you can watch a separate video that I will be putting out later. Next, we have all of our cruise control and Super Cruise buttons. Again, if your car does not come equipped with this, maybe when 1LT definitely won't have Super Cruise in my opinion, and maybe it doesn't have adaptive. We'll see, hopefully it will. So you might need to skip over this part. So what buttons do we have? So first thing is first, this is to turn on and off cruise control. So looking in the driver information center, you will see the cruise control button turn on and off right there in the center. That is to turn it on and off just so you can utilize it. And then what you would do is once you're at the speed you want, you pull this down and that will set it. And then if for some reason you're driving and you want to not turn off cruise control, but just stop cruise control temporarily, you'll hit this button and that will stop whatever you have set. And then if you want to resume, you would just push up on this tab. Right here, you can only pull this one down, and this adjusts your gap between the car in front of you, and you just have to pull down to cycle through. I've actually been pretty pleased with the 1 setting, but if you want to be extra safe, you can set it up to 3. There's that. And lastly, on this side, we have the Super Cruise button. If you are on a pre-mapped highway for Super Cruise, an icon looking like this will pop up somewhere on the display, and there are several displays, and we're going to go through those. If you see that, you can press this and it will turn green. It might turn blue until it feels like it's ready to take over, and then it will turn green. Once it's green, it is active. If when you are in Super Cruise, it finds that there are no mapped roads or something, there's some issue, a lot of stuff will blink red, your seat will vibrate a little bit, and then what will happen is it'll cancel cruise control and Super Cruise until you grab the steering wheel again. When you do, it will go back to automatic cruise control. So that's worth noting. Again, I'll talk more about that in my cruise control and Super Cruise video. Moving here, we just have our different windshield wiper and turn signal and lights. So obviously, if you put it up, it's right turn signal, down, left turn signal. The button on the end is to do washer fluid for the front. If you push it in a little bit, it will just wipe. It won't do the windshield wiper. If you push it all the way in and hold it, it will do the windshield wiper fluid for the front. If you want to turn on the front windshield, you just pull this and twist it around to whatever you'd like it to do. If you want to do the rear, same thing. You pull it to off, intermittent, on. If you go all the way, it'll do the windshield, and you can also go up one and it will do the rear windshield cleaner. And it's worth noting, when you do the rear windshield cleaner, that also does the rear camera cleaner. And then of course, if we go out, high beams, in and hold, it stays on high beam. Forward would be automatic high beam. Right here, you can see we have our little paddle for regen. So if you have one pedal driving on, it'll automatically slow down, but if you pull this, it'll slow down even harder and bring you to a stop. It's worth playing around with that so you feel comfortable with how it works. I then want to come around to the back side of the steering wheel where you can see this button right here. This is for the tracks, so to go back or forward with tracks. I like this positioning, so when you're driving, it's really easy to access. There is another one on the other side. See if I can get it here in the camera. Yep, there it is, for volume. So up is volume up, and this is volume down. If for some reason you would need to adjust the steering wheel, here's that, and it adjusts very easily. We have the horn. It's a nice sounding horn. I'm not gonna honk it now because people might think I'm crazy, but trust me, it's a good one. Here we just have some sensors for Super Cruise. All right, so on this side, this will do your voice assistant. If you go up, it'll show recent calls, and you can toggle through with this to pick who you want to call, and then press in on this one to select that person. I'm just not showing for privacy of my contacts. This will turn on the heat warmer. If you move this one, it'll actually show your different audio options, and you can toggle through them if you'd like to. And it's just showing my radio favorites, which I didn't set yet. So those are not my radio's favorites, if you're wondering. And then lastly, this button down here shifts through the different driver information center options. So once that goes away, let me do that. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say this. When you pull this one down, it actually mutes and then unmutes. So there you can see mute, unmute. And then it shows in the driver information center, mute, unmute. So there's that. Now we can cycle through the driver information center display options. There are 5. So this is the one I prefer. I like this one. It has current trip. You can actually put whatever you want here, and I'll show you all that in a little bit. Has your battery, shows a percentage of state of charge. And then it has your power in, power out, including when you're charging. So right now I'm charging, I'm getting 5 kilowatts, which is nice. And it kind of shows, oh, green, you're getting charged, and I believe that goes orange when you're actively using power. Here, it displays your speed if it picks it up. But let's go ahead and look through the different options here. So here's one option where you have state of charge over here and your speed. And then here you have power in, power out with the kilowatts. Some people might like that. I'm not a big fan. Notice how lane keep assist is up here now and cruise control is up here now. Going to the next option. This is the Google Map option. I love this. Now, it's worth noting that if you just use a Google Map, you're good. But say you want to use, and I'll show everybody, if you want to use Waze, And sometimes Waze is finicky, if I'm being honest. So here's Waze, it's working, it is finicky. You can see it's kind of like doing some weird things, whatever. So basically, once you open Waze, it's not going to show up on here anymore. And what you need to do is you go to navigation, navigate somewhere. Let's navigate here. There we go, start. And then you can cancel it immediately and it will pop back up here. This is a weird little quirk, but it is what it is. So here's this display. It has a lot less information, but it still shows power in, power out, speed. There you got the speed limit signs. Moving on to this one, this is basically where it shows your gap assist. It will show your music. Here's lane keep assist. And then moving on to, I believe the final one, they call this the simple one. It's just speed, power in, power out, and a couple other symbols which will pop up. And then here we go, we return to my personal favorite. So there it is. I'd love to hear what your all's personal favorite is. I just like this one, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. Now, one thing I wanted to show everyone is maybe you want to have your trip information up here like I do. So let me go over here. And again, this is not about infotainment today, but I can do that. So current trip, remove from display. So this is what it looks like when you haven't added it yet. It'll have the time and the temperature and the day. Wonderful. But maybe you want to have your trip information up there. So you click add to driver display. Whoops, add to driver display, and now it's there. And again, you can do this for several things, mainly in this car information. So you go trip information and click add to driver display, and you'll get your trip information there. Maybe you don't want that. You can do tire pressure. So if you could do add to driver display, or you could do energy info. This is kind of fun because this shows like whether the climate, the driving, or remote climate are using energy, and you can click that and you can add it to the driver display. So there are your options. If you came from Tesla, you can kind of put this in. This is similar to the Tesla energy usage little map, and this have a little bit of a graph. I think it's just the last mile, which is fine. But there's that. And I'm going to remove that and just go back to my settings that I like to have, which are current trip. And the current trip resets every time you get in and start the car. And it says that right there. So there is that with the driver information center. One last thing I guess we can talk about, or two last things. Right here, we just have our gear shifter. So forward and down is drive, forward is neutral, forward and up is reverse, and then pressing the button is park. And then the last thing I really wanted to talk about here for the driver area, if you will, are these buttons. Technically a part of the infotainment, but I think it's important for the driver to know what they are. So here you have options to turn the car off. This is to leave your car on. It'll leave your car on for 60 minutes. So if you want to keep the climate running, that's what you would do. So if I run into the store real quick and my wife and my son stay in the car, I click that button, they stay in here, and they can use everything inside. The doors are locked and they're getting AC, and it's really nice. It's a good experience. Here is one pedal driving. Here you can see one pedal normal. If you want to adjust it, click set level and you can change it. I like normal. I think, what do they call it? I think high is way too much, personally. So there's that. Here's controls, which takes you to all the different things. Like if you need to do the dome light, and this is dome light for the whole car. So if you want to just turn your dome light on, you can click here or click here, and there's that. But if you want to turn them all on, you can click there, it'll turn them on. Auto high beams, I'll turn those on. I don't know why they were turned off. Camera, power window lockout, traction control, auto park assist, remote. And for if you have a garage with a garage door opener, you can program it here. It's very easy to do. There's no buttons on the rear view mirror, but you will get a button and it will show up here when you're near home, which is cool. And then you can see all the other controls. Again, this is an infotainment day, so I'm not gonna go through that right now. And then here, this is to adjust your lights. So you can have auto, off, and all the other options. There you go. So I'm gonna leave it on auto. All right, everybody, so that is it with the driver information center and the steering wheel. If there's something I happen to miss, if you ask a question, I'll answer it. I'm not perfect, but I feel like I got most everything that has to do with the driver information center, steering wheel, and all the other buttons that the driver would have to deal on a regular basis. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do want to remind everyone that there will be a full infotainment system video coming out where I'll do an overview, and then I will do separate videos for things that I feel like need deeper dives for people. And as always, if you leave something down in the comments, I will make that for you as well. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel. And follow me on X, and I will catch you all next time.